Hello and welcome to Sarge's Custom Tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at the Mattel Masterverse Masters of the Universe New Eternia Evil-Lyn. I wasn't going to do a review for this figure until I noticed something, unfortunately, when I got my package today, that her headdress is kind of slid too far back on her head. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing and review, and then we're going to work on fixing that, because I know I've seen other people have that same problem and weren't excited to try to tear off the headdress. I'm just going to go for it. So first, quick look at the package. Really cool new packaging from Masterverse line. Really good looking packaging on these figures. So let's get her out of the box and take a closer look. Alright, so little handy dandy note here to tell you to open this. So if you look on the side here, you see all the accessories that she comes with, but the only thing that's in here is her the top of her staff. But if you look in here, yeah, she's gonna fall out. You get a bag with the rest of your accessories. So we have the top of her staff. Here you have the other end of her staff. And she has two gripping hands in the box. She comes with two fist hands and two kind of spell casting hands. They have nail polish on the nails. That's nice. It's mostly done okay. So here is our Evil-Lyn, and this is a really good looking figure. They got just paint on here for days. Looks really good. If this is molded, it is. Okay, I got a couple of issues here. I have one that has the headdress is moved further back, and she has two left arms. So that sucks. Alright, well, if things look a little different, it's because it's been a week since the last shot that I had. I noticed that I have two left arms. If you notice, the gauntlets here are backwards. That's because this is the same as this. So we did a replacement. Since I have a little while to return this one, I'm gonna take a look at them side by side and see if there's any other issues. This one has, starting off already better with the same right arms, but the headdress is still, it's better than this one, but it's a little bit high still. So I think I'm still gonna do the headdress mod for her, and if it works out, then I'll return this head instead of this one, but we'll see. And here is a side by side of the same figure. So as you can see, the arms are better, and the headdress on this one is a little bit better. This one I would be fine with, but I still kind of want to see if I can take this thing off and see if it'll get any better without doing any damage to it. I've watched a couple other videos, and somebody said they tried a similar thing but couldn't get it off. He didn't say he was using heat. I assume he was, but you never know. So we're going to use her for getting some close-ups, because face paint is really nice. All the detail paint work on this is really good. Paint on the headdress is really nice. Really awesome face paint and sculpt. This is a great looking face sculpt. Sculpted detail on the back. Even got these little teeny tiny rivets in the skirt piece with paint. That's cool. It's a nice little touch of detail. They kind of missed a couple on mine, so I might have to go over that as well. But it's nice that they're trying. So just real quick, she has a ball peg on her head, but the actual ball peg in the neck only moves a little bit, and it really only moves front and back, which is pretty standard for Mattel figures. So you get rotation and a little bit of tilting just on the ball that's in her head, but doesn't really look all that natural. But down is okay, up is okay. Shoulders have full rotation, now to just about horizontal. Elbows are really bad. Wow, single jointed elbows with a pivot, but man, they don't even get to 90. So I might try to modify that. I could probably I could get a little bit more by cutting out a chunk of the forearm there, so it can actually rotate on that peg a little bit further, because it is hitting this bit on the forearm there is hitting the peg inside there. So I might have to take out a little bit of her bicep as well to get a little bit more, but we'll see. Abdomen crunch is pretty good. A little bit of forward, a little bit of back. Side to side is good. She's not, she's a sorceress, so she doesn't need all that many dynamic poses, which makes this next part even really interesting. She does have swivel at the waist. She has drop down hips. For what purpose, I don't know, because her hips really don't go all that far up anyway, even with the drop down. Like, she doesn't need to do high kicks, so I don't know. She can do the splits, and the drop downs help with that, but why, she doesn't need to do the splits. So that's really odd. I hope they're not doing this with all of them going forward, because I'm not a fan of, really not a fan of drop down hips. She got thigh swivel up at the highest point on her thigh, so it doesn't break up the sculpt that bad. Double jointed knees. Which, if you can have double jointed knee, you have double jointed elbows on Tila. Why not have double jointed elbows on Evil-Lyn? Again, she actually double jointed elbows on Evil-Lyn on the original one. So I'm not sure why. This is the most dynamic pose she needs to get in. So it's not that big of a deal that she doesn't have that great of elbow articulation, but I don't know, that's just really bad. Anyway, boot swivel at the top of the boot, so that's great, and pretty steep pin, hinge, and rocker, but the rocker's really steep. But with the boot swivel, that kind of goes away, and there's not much shape to the boot, so it's fine. If you do need to get her into a crazy split, you can. Even with a steep rocker, as long as there's a boot swivel, it's still fine. Okay. So another odd thing I noticed, both of them have it, is one of their feet, this foot is flat on the bottom, so that's fine. This one, it's like it's a heel almost. This goes up, so she doesn't stand flat. The other one's actually worse, so this one's a little bit better, but the bottom of her feet aren't flat, so she kind of rocks back and forth on that foot. This one's flat, so that's fine, but the other one, it's like so that kind of stinks. She does have peg holes, so you could put her on a stand. The cape, I didn't mention the cape, is pretty nice. They came taped to the sides of the inside of the box, so when she was in the box, the window's not even that big on the front, so I don't know why they did it, but she was, it was spread out like this. But it left like some tape goo, adhesive goo on the edges of the cape. I also assumed when I first saw the figure that it was going to have a lot of reuse from Tila, but it's not actually. I don't think any of it is. Maybe, no? I don't know. I don't think the upper hips, because these are thick. She's got thicker, more muscular legs than Tila. And I think they're a little bit longer. Boots have the wraps on them. These ones don't. Yeah, I think it's all new. So she's also a lot taller. Speaking of which, before I do anything with her, let's do some comparison shots. Here she is with Tila and the original Evil-Lyn. You can see here she's considerably taller, which is probably going to be an issue with Skeletor as well. He-Man's still taller. Skeletor was fairly short. Yeah, Skeletor is shorter than Evil-Lyn now, which is fine. No problem with women being tall. Here she is with some McFarlane figures. Here she is with a NECA Dungeons and Dragons figure and the new Frazetta Girls Icons Collectibles Norseman. Here she is with a Mythic Legion and a Marvel Legends. I should say that this is the Hercules body, so he's a little taller than the average Marvel Legends figure. Here she is with a Zezre Studios Combatants Tadala and a Savage Crucible Lemurian Slate. And finally, here she is with a customized AEW Elite Stu Grayson figure, and this is the V-Toys Zero Body, who's been spruced up with some Gladiator armor from the Boss Fight Studios Gladiator Skeleton. So my skirt piece, that is not easily swapped. I don't know if you can see the difference here. This skirt piece on the front is like warped. It has like a bubble. I wonder if I heat that up, if it will go back to like a normal... I don't know. It would either go back to normal where it should be, or it would get worse. So I'm a little worried about trying that, but it has this like weird bubble. It's like a spoon. Okay, so I warmed up the skirt piece and that seems to have done the trick. So if you have this similar issue, warm it up with a hairdryer or some hot water and just pinch it so it folds in the middle. And I think that's kind of what they had in mind with it right there. That looks a lot better. Okay, so I warmed up the head. As you can see, it's pretty floppy here. And there's quite a bit of glue. I think there's a lot of glue up in the top or the back because it kind of gets to this point and stops. She's got glue right at the base of her skull. And it's not coming off at the top either, so there's glue like right there. And it's already kind of tearing at that. It's really annoying. I want to get this off of her. See if I can get mine better. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like the glue is all the way around the front. Oh, there it goes. It's still back there. Now, once I heat this all up again, it should kind of go back to its original shape. I've done this a couple times with Conan hair, and that hasn't had any problem going back to shape. There it goes. Jesus. Wow, that was annoying. Okay. So, you can see why that's so hard to get off of there. Looks like a RoboCop's head. Yeah, I think they kind of like... It looks like they set... Instead of setting, there's an inside rib along the front that's supposed to go along this ridge along the front of her head. Kind of where it's supposed... There you go. Yeah, it's really just that it wasn't pushed on all the way. So you can set it in there like that and it kind of sits in place, but you have to push it. It kind of goes in almost like one more notch. Boom. Then it clicks into the right spot. So, and this tear actually, so I kind of made it a little bit worse, but I think that's a mold line because it's on the back of the other one as well, right in that same spot. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is warm up these forearms again, and we're going to start by cutting out a little bit of where that pin is hitting the elbow. As you can see there, like it's barely getting 90 without the arm attached. Still going to be very careful not to cut myself with this, but when the plastic's warmed up, it goes right through this, kind of like butter, as you can see there. Just cutting a little bit more of this plastic out. And you got to be very careful too here not to cut the joint. There. So I just cut a little bit more of the plastic out of her elbow pit there. And as you can see there, it's already going better. So here you can see the original range of the elbow is, not quite making 90, and here is the modified, which it's not a huge difference, but at least it's 90. I'm okay with that. I can kind of push it and get a little bit more, but not a ton, but I'm okay with that. And let's get her helmet back on. Yeah, so there you go. You can kind of hear that. So there's the first click, so it's in place where it was originally, and the second click, and there, now it's on all the way. And I don't even know if, it's on there pretty good. I don't think I'm really even going to glue it. I think I'll just leave it like that, and then if I want to change or do anything later with it, I can. So there you go. Only thing I forgot to mention earlier is the cape. It looks like the cape's a bit wide for the actual neck piece here, so it sticks out on the back there. That's a little odd looking, but it's not bad. Oh yeah, forgot about this. The head on her staff from the first one that I bought is kind of like set in there wrong. I don't know if you can even really tell, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, there you go. You can see that little gap that's in there. So it's kind of glued in at an angle, kind of going this way. So yet again, another reason why I needed to get another one. This staff supposedly glows in the dark. I haven't tested that out yet. Doesn't want to go in all the way, but there you go. There's her staff. I like this one. I kind of like, where's the one? Yeah, this is the one from the original. I think I kind of like that better. This one pops a little bit more. I think I like that more. Spell casting hand. She is ready to go. Do some Evil-Lyn. Evil-Lyn's gonna do some Evil-Lyn. Alright, well, as I said, this has stayed in place, so that's cool. So, fix that. Got a little bit more range out of the elbows, but not a ton, but it's Evil-Lyn, so you don't need a ton, really. And we fixed the headdress. This is the head from the original figure that I think I'm going to keep this one. Now that I got the headdress off, this one's still just sitting a little bit higher, but it's close to where it should be. But this one's exactly where it should be, so I'm giving him a better head than what they gave me, but that's okay. And just a, really good looking Evil-Lyn figure overall. This is gonna, I don't have a New Eternia display, I just have kind of like a single generic Masters of the Universe display, and I have some of the, Revelations figures. I really liked the Revelations show, so which kind of got me back into He-Man. I did have He-Man toys as a child, if that dates me at all. But yeah, really beautiful looking Evil-Lyn figure. Of the ones that I own, this is definitely the best paint apps. Lots of paint on here, and it all looks really good. Alright. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how I can make these videos more enjoyable or informative in the future. And thanks again for watching Sarge's Custom Tutorials.